Ready to unwrap a surprise from Consumer Cellular? Experience the gift of freedom with no contract, no hidden fees, and always free activation. Here comes the holiday surprise. From now till December 31st, new customers can enjoy their second month for free. To get this holiday offer, visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM and use promo code PODCAST. Act before December 31st to get your second month on us. Use promo code PODCAST.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Joy Business Report with me, Pius Kojobaka. Coming up in our headlines, government announces reopening of domestic debt exchange program for investors who didn't sign up in February. Also in this bulletin, Director General of World Trade Organization assures Ghana and other developing countries they will not be marginalized despite ongoing reforms with the World Trade Organization. And Treasury bills unlikely to be included in the domestic debt exchange program in the near term. We'll hear from Fitch Ratings. These and many more shortly. On to our very first story. Government has announced that it is reopening the debt exchange program, particularly for investors who didn't sign up in February. The Finance Ministry, in a statement, noted that the opportunity will also cover holders of the ESLA PLC and Dachi Trust. The ministry added that government is aware of the number of holders of these bonds who did not participate in the earlier offer on time and therefore were left out. Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, in an earlier interview with Joy Business, had stated that the action was influenced by requests from the bondholders to be given another opportunity.
A number of them have already have also approached us, whether we can consider opening up for them to participate.
Does the legal framework allows you to do that? Because some will say that there were some who wanted an opportunity even to participate in the original listen. They were not given that opportunity. So now this second window, some will say that, is it fair when they had the opportunity and they didn't tender?
I mean, context is important. And so if they didn't understand what we offered to them and they now understand that, we should be able to come to some level of understanding to enable them participate so that we can also ameliorate the effects associated with holding the old bonds. But they are citizens of Ghana, they are participants in our economy. And so we should be able to support wherever we can so that people can feel the effect of the recovery of our economy.
Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, in that interaction with my colleague George Yafe. Now, ratings agency Fitch says it does not expect Treasury bills to be included in the domestic debt exchange program in the near term. According to the UK-based firm, despite the high yield on the short-term securities, it is only financing tool that left for the government and therefore will not be suicidal to include it in the domestic debt restructuring. Here is Tony Owls, Senior Director, Emerging Market and African Sovereign Ratings at Fitch Ratings, and has been speaking at the Africa webinar series titled Reform and New Challenges in Western Africa.
We don't expect T-bills to be brought into this. It is true that would, obviously present quite a lot of savings. But just given the need for that as a sort of financing tool, we wouldn't expect that to be included. And I think in Ghana's case, but also just more generally, it's very complicated, I guess, to include that in a domestic debt restructuring. I guess the main question we would have now about the domestic debt restructuring is, is more about the medium term. When actually you've moved a lot of these maturities down the line, and so it sort of just magnifies the importance of the policy adjustments from now until then. Because as I say, when we get to 27, 28, we have this big hump of domestic debt service.
Thoughts of a Senior Director, Emerging Market and African Sovereign Ratings at Fitch Ratings, Toby Isles there. Now, the Director General of the World Trade Organization, Ngozi Nkojo-Iweala, has assured that Ghana and other developing countries will not be marginalized as a result of the ongoing reforms. The organization is currently undergoing reforms to deal with some issues about dispute settlements, agricultural subsidies, and make it more relevant to current issues. But speaking at an engagement with journalists in Geneva, Switzerland, on sidelines of the Public Forum Conference, the Director General said everything is being done to make the organization best placed for member countries.
There are no agreements that will be made without the developing countries participating. So it's not like you make agreements and then they have to implement and wonder how it will benefit them. All the agreements that are being discussed, they will be part and parcel of it, of those agreements, and will be able to state their concerns. The issue is they have to negotiate with other members. So that's what this is about. It's a consensus organization. So you have to get the other members to agree and support what you're demanding on, make compromises, negotiate so that you can get what you want.
Meanwhile, the Director General is also urging Ghana to sign up to the organization's Fisheries Subsidies Initiative, which will protect countries' assets in the sea and review subsidies for the sector.
Ratifying this agreement, the longer we wait, the more overfishing there is. So this is one reason why we are fighting very hard. So far, we have 43 members who have ratified. We need about 110, right? Yes. And so we have quite some ways to go. But already the pace, it's gathering pace. I was in Ghana with His Excellency, and they promised to ratify. Nicola and I were there. We haven't seen Côte d'Ivoire. President Ouattara had worked really hard on it, and I think they're almost there. We just need to push a little bit.
Ngozi Nkojo-Iweala is the Director General of the World Trade Organization. Still in Switzerland, trade analyst and program officer at Third World Network, Sylvester Bagoro, is asking government to deal with risks associated with agri and trade infrastructure to improve funding for the sector. It is coming after the 2023 World Trade Organization report showed that trade expansion in Ghana is being hampered by access and cost of credit. Mr. Bagoro, who was speaking to Joy Business in Geneva, Switzerland, said these issues must be addressed if government wants to make progress.
Can't have a situation where really this 21st century you have a product from Kenya to Ghana taking about 3 months because when you read the reports, the shipping line had to go to Singapore before coming back to Accra. That speaks about the trade infrastructure. And so governments must take deliberate action to do this. If we don't do this, I can tell you 10 years from now, we'll be talking the same story. 20 years from now, we'll be talking the same story. So we need to be very deliberate that we have challenges. Internally, we need to solve. But we should also forget about the international dimension, which can be very, very hostile to developing countries.
Back home in Ghana, small and medium-scale businesses in the Oti region have been urged to take advantage of opportunities presented by the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement AfTA to expand their businesses into the continent. Alhaji Yusuf Yakubu, who is in charge of monitoring and evaluation at the AfTA National Coordination Office in Accra, urged the businesses to redirect their operations from the European markets into Africa. He was speaking at a day's sensitization workshop for business owners in the Oti region. There is more in this report.
It was a gathering of small and medium-scale business individuals in the Oti region at a day's sensitization program on the need to rebrand and meet acceptable standards in the export business with African Continental Free Trade Area AfTA. Alhaji Yusuf Yakubu is the monitoring and evaluation officer from the National Coordination Office.
It is important that we work to ensure those who are already exporting to a European market or any other market without Africa, we redirect them, because we have the single largest market in the world when we talk of Africa Continental Free Trade Area.
DOT Regional Minister Joshua Makubu says with proper packaging, he expects participants to take advantage of the opportunities available to expand their business to a global reach.
Sometimes back, Oti region, especially in the Nkwanta South Municipality, were noted for the production of honey. I believe that if that honey was properly packaged and taken to the African market, it would have added more value to it, and the cost of production would have become less as compared to what they gains.
Moving on to some other stories, as part of efforts to reduce unemployment and create employment for the youth, The Ghana Grows Program has launched a research to aid policy direction and inform decisions to create a vibrant agribusiness value chain in agricultural, technical and vocational education and training. Speaking to Joy Business, Director of the Springboard Roadshow Foundation, Reverend Albert Okran, stated that educating young people about the opportunities of the agri value chain would encourage participation in the sector. He has been speaking at the launch of a research commissioned by the Ghana Grows Program.
Recent developments in the sub-region, unrest in some of the countries, it is obvious that the demand for food will go up. And so to the extent that we can create jobs, not just in the planting or direct farming, but in the distribution, processing, research, and several other jobs in the value chain, we can create opportunity for the young people. Let's take a simple one, like even deliveries, logistics, the dispatch riders delivering food. There's so much the young people can learn and do in these sectors.
Now, on Investor Eye today, if you suspect an investment arrangement to be a fraud, never go ahead to engage the company. Don't also provide any personal information to any suspicious investment company. Let's listen to the head of technical ICT and digital forensic at the Economic and Organized Crime Office, Amankwa Atta, as he provides some tips to avoid fraudulent investment schemes.
When someone feels they have received an investment message, that could potentially be a scam. There are several steps they can take to protect themselves. 1. Do not respond to the message. Avoid engaging with the sender or providing any personal or financial information. 2. Research about the sender. Look up for the company or individual who sent you the online message. Check for any negative review or report of scam associated with their name.